are the person who decides. So it's a beautiful Tuesday, and we thank God. This is the day that the Lord has made, and we're going to rejoice and be glad in it, because that's the way we glorify Him, with thanksgiving for everything. And we're so glad that you could join us this morning. You're going to be blessed for the rest of the day. We have organized and arranged so many things for you, beautiful programmings where we're going to nourish your body, your soul, and your spirit. Actually, I'm supposed to start with your spirit, your soul, and your body. You're going to be nourished throughout the day. So tighten your belt. Let's start this morning with what's been happening in our country, where Hashim Dagane Mohammed, the main suspect in the murders of her mother, her daughter, and her 12-year-old niece, will spend the next 21 days in police cells after a Makadara court granted a miscellaneous application by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. The DCI had submitted to the court that the suspect is a flight risk, as Hashim's nationality is in question, even as they work around the clock to gather evidence into the brutal killing of the three women.
Abdi, and I am the father of the girls and the husband of Dahabo. I just want to say thank you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who make it easy for us to apprehend this killer. This is ongoing investigation, so I don't want to say much about it. I just want to say special thanks to the detectives who worked tirelessly day and night to capture this killer. I also want to thank to the family member who worked day and night to capture this killer. As you can see, it's very devastating. Musaibu was my firstborn, and Dahabo was my wife, and this has been a very hard time, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a sabr for all my family. And I'm getting emotional at this time. I don't want to talk a lot about it, but may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a peace in our heart, and make it easy for us in the sorrow we are in at this time. And we are hoping for justice to be served, inshallah. Yeah.
You know, on the aspect of nationality, you know, the fact that they're raising questions of his nationality. There are so many of such individuals in the country with very questionable personalities. They've been in this country for a very, very long time. And if you trace part of their lives, you cannot get where they were. They just appeared at a certain point, and you realize some of them paid the chiefs and certain individuals in government to get identity cards, and they're in this country roaming around doing all kinds of things because they don't belong in this country. So we pray that justice does happen to that gentleman who lost his family, and the person is able to pay. You don't take people's lives like that. Now, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos has issued a stern warning against exam malpractice as he flagged off the distribution of the 2024 KCSE papers yesterday. This year's exam introduced strict security protocol, even as the ministry aimed at towards having 0 cases of exam malpractice. Now, in its third week, the KCSE 2024 officially began on the 22nd of October.
This year, the rules are very, very strict. The exams they've got some security features. The papers are secured. We are ensuring that there are no phones in any particular center. And if you find somebody is insisting that they want to be there with the phone, it is an offense. We can take disciplinary action against them or move them. So let us not, in any manner, disobey the regulations that were put in place. Let us obey them. They will help us reduce the instances of malpractices. And we are looking forward to securing this and to ensuring that next year we can come back and celebrate a credible examination result for the first time in the country.
Well, today is day 2, but this is how it went out yesterday, and we do want to wish the students who are sitting the exams today something good. The Principal Secretary for the State Department for Basic Education, Dr. Bellion Kisang, yesterday assured candidates across the country of their security as they sit for their KCSE. KCSE Common Papers began yesterday. The PS was accompanied by Teacher Service Commission CEO Dr. Nancy Macharia to witness the distribution of the exams in Mombasa. Dr. Kipsang said that regional commissioners made adequate security arrangements and the exams kicked off fairly well across the country. Teachers have been sensitized not to drop their guard to ensure seamless examinations. Meanwhile, PS Kipsang says that necessary arrangements have been made for students who sat for fake KPSEA in Uasin Gishu County not to be disadvantaged.
We want to deliver, and as we deliver as one in government, then it makes it easier for everybody to see that there is a coordinated approach through the multi-agency team. And we are going to continue using the multi-agency team because each member of that team have their own strength. We have our colleagues from the DCI for investigations. We have our colleagues from the police to provide the necessary security. We have our teachers to make sure that professional practice is maintained. We have our officers in the field to ensure that they support the teacher. So this year we are looking forward to a smooth run examination. And we have continuously throughout the year been encouraging and sensitizing our teachers on the essence of giving the children an opportunity to be children. That's very important. Mambo ya Tana River, vile mnajua, tumekuwa na multi-agency team yenye wamehakikisha kwamba hiyo shida ilikuwa huko, that communal problem that was there, we have tried to manage it, and I know it has been managed. I want to thank our colleagues at the Ministry of Interior because they have stabilized that region. Lamu, as at now, I know we are doing fairly well in Lamu. More than any other time, this time we are delivering an exam without so much panic in Lamu, in the North Rift. And this really is because of the multi-agency way that we have been dealing with it. Our colleagues have done quite a very good job from the security sector. And we urge all of us that we become positive, we communicate a positive message so that even communities realize that there is need for them to be peaceful for the sake of their children. Because children can only give us their full potential when we give them a conducive environment to do that.
And the first thing is that we vetted all the teachers who are involved, whether it is examiners, and you'll forgive me, I have a cold, whether it is the examiners, the supervisors, or the center managers. We have vetted them, but in the unlikely event that something happens and it touches on our teachers, of course the criminal aspect will take its place, but as professionals the code of regulation for teachers takes effect, and our teachers have been briefed on the same as well as briefed on what NEC expects of them as they...
You know, it's this country, I think we are very good in coming up with crimes. Because how do you give children fake exams? Surely you sat down and in your mind you thought you could get away with making children sit fake exams. Okay. Now, President William Ruto has praised the Supreme Court for what he describes as firmness in guiding lower courts and being a faithful custodian of the Kenyan Constitution. Speaking at the Supreme Court buildings in Nairobi during the commemoration of 12 years since the nation's highest court was established, the president said that the court has been emphatic in its dispositions and solving complex constitutional matters, making Kenyans confident that their rights are intact and due process is indispensable. Some of the Supreme Court's verdict in the recent months have sparked criticisms, the most recent being the last week's ruling affirming the legality of the Contentious Finance Act 2023, which the Court of Appeal had annulled.
Over the past 12 years, The Supreme Court has played a transformative role in shaping both Kenya's jurisprudence and shaping our country's socio-political development. This court's landmark judgments have influenced the daily lives of Kenyans while reinforcing the core principles of our democracy. Through hearing and determining 4 presidential election petitions over the last 3 election cycles, the court has set critical benchmarks for conducting free, fair, and transparent elections.
In the short time the Supreme Court of Kenya has existed, the jurisprudence has been quite groundbreaking. And on that front, I think it will be unfair for any assessor to actually fault the performance of the Supreme Court. To deliver the public good called justice, of course, the court has to do that through its jurisprudence and through the decisions they make. The court has also done very well in terms of the infrastructure, the software, the technology bit. And among the arms of government and the agencies of government, I think the judiciary is ahead of the rest of us.
Since the establishment of Kenya's Supreme Court, an iconic institution that, along with devolution and the Bill of Rights, stands as one of the most transformative innovations in our progressive 2010 Constitution. As Kenya's apex judicial body, the Supreme Court is entrusted with the sacrosanct mandate to uphold and promote the purpose and principles of our constitutional order. By virtue of its unique complement of exclusive, original, appellate, and advisory jurisdictions, it possesses the necessary authority to arbitrate, to advise, and to guide the institutions of our republic as they perform their roles of giving full expression to the will of the people as inscribed in our Constitution.
Later on we'll be talking about, the Supreme Court at 12, and we're going to see some of the, rulings that are being made and whether it is what they say it is. It has actually made some rulings that are really good for this country. It's set up very good jurisprudence, and I think it's a good thing for this country. And now the Social Health Authority SHA transition continues to cause jitters amongst Kenyans, even as patients decry lack of services. 1 month since the introduction of the new health insurance, some patients and doctors at the Bungoma County Referral Hospital have expressed mixed feelings about its implementation. Some patients and doctors have described the hardship they are going through, including the challenges of communication signals when they want to register to receive services at the hospital as a big problem for them. Likewise, the demands of being asked to seek medical services at level 1 hospitals before reaching the referral hospital.
Nilipoingia katika shirika la SHA, nilikuwa nafikiria labda nitakuwa nalipa bill, lakini SHA imenisaidia. Nikatibiwa na ugonjwa wa pressure Bungoma Referral. Mtoto alizaliwa kama miezi haijafika miezi 9, alizaliwa na miezi 7. SHA ikanisaidia, wakapeleka mtoto nursery, anaendelea kutibiwa. Nimefurahi sana kwa kunitendea haya maneno mazuri, sababu mimi mwenyewe singeweza kulipa bili ya referral.
Nilikuwa admitted Bungoma Referral Hospital kwa ajili ya kufanyiwa operation juu ya mguu na nimeweza kushughulikiwa. SHA imeweza kunishughulikia kila kitu. Imelipa bili ya operation, matibabu yote nimefanyiwa. Hakuna dawa yenye nimenunua isipokuwa ni moja, na nimeweza kuongea na wakubwa wa SHA wa Bungoma, na wamesema wataweza kushughulikia kwa sababu haifai tulipe chochote.
So nasema SHA at 1 month we are doing very well in Bungoma County. Tumeweza kusajili hospitali 275 hapa Bungoma ambao wamesign contract ya SHA. Hii hospitali 275 ni private hospitals, faith-based hospitals na pia hospitali kuu ya hospitali zote za serikali za Bungoma. Wote wamesign contract na wamekubaliana na ile matakwa ya contract ambapo wanahudumia wagonjwa wetu vizuri wakienda nyumbani. Mambo ya connectivity, 90% ya hospitali zote zimekuwa connected na ile mambo ya login 90%. Ile 10% imebaki tunazidi kuwashughulikia ili waweze, kuna hospitali karibu 20 mpya hatuweza kuwapata, nazidi kuwatafuta tuwapate ili waweze kusaini hiyo contract na waweze kuwa connected waweze kutumia Wakenya.
You know, that transition is one of those things that has, in some cases, brought challenges to so many people. I know my mom goes, there's a hospital she goes where, you know, her eyes are taken care of. And before she would be taken care of free of charge, you know, through the NHIF. The other day she went and she couldn't get treatment because they were saying that, you know, they've not been registered in the new system. And so for every visit you go there, you have to part with 9,000. And so for the first time in a very long time, we were forced to pay, you know, cash. So the system needs to come into play because if it doesn't, it's going to affect so many people. Meanwhile, Cabinet Secretary CS for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Musalia Mudavadi, participated in the launch of the Uhai wa Mama na Mtoto Project, National Obstetrics Point of Care Ultrasound Guidelines in Nairobi. It's such a mouthful. It's called POCUS. He highlighted the critical role of these newly developed guidelines in supporting the government's ongoing commitment to enhancing antenatal care and reducing maternal and neonatal morbidity and mortality rates. These guidelines empower nurses, midwives, clinical officers, and other reproductive health professionals to share responsibilities in conducting obstetrical ultrasound screenings aligned with the WHO standards.
They enable nurses, midwives, and clinical officers and other reproductive health professionals to share tasks for obstetrical ultrasound screening in accordance with World Health Organization guidelines. This initiative bridges a critical gap in public health. Dispensaries and centers where pregnant mothers miss out on early ultrasound scans due to a shortage of sonographers, radiologists, and gynecologists obstetricians. These facilities are usually manned by nurses, midwives, and clinical officers who are not trained to carry out ultrasound screening. Moreover, the facilities are not equipped with ultrasound machines as they are expensive and are not part of the essential package for public health centers. Advancement and innovation in ultrasound procedures through the use of handheld screening devices will facilitate high-impact interventions to pregnant women across all counties and regions. It is refreshing to note that these guidelines were developed through the collaboration between the government and key stakeholders represented here, funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates.
Maternal mortality remains a major global challenge, including here in Kenya. Despite progress, achieving our goals for newborn and maternal health requires innovations. Access to essential care like ultrasound is crucial but often limited. There is limited equipment, trained staff, and costs are again a major barrier. We at the ministry recognize this challenge. The point of care ultrasound offers a powerful solution. Point of care ultrasound allows for early intervention and timely referral, improving both maternal and fetal outcomes. And the Ministry of Health is committed to expanding access to obstetric point of care ultrasound, especially in the underserved area.
Yep. let's make sure that these things work out for us. You know, a healthy nation is a very strong country. Now, today is a very important day. Today, Americans go to the polls. Is it going to be Trump or Kamala Harris? When we come back, we'll find out whoever wins. And I pray that Trump wins. How is going to affect the world and our country. All right, if you're just waking up, good morning. This is how your daily is going to look out like today. Historic polls. The whole world today is focused on America because you know what happens when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches cold. And the policies that are passed in the US affect all other countries in the world by virtue of the position of the United States. So Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, it's what it's come down to. And I can see here it says a presidential election unlike any other in the United States history entered its full day yesterday with yesterday with Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, and their campaigns scrambling to get supporters to the polls in a contest each portrays as existential moment for America. If Trump, who's now 78 years old, wins, he will be the oldest person in the United States history to be elected president, while Harris, who's 60, has a chance to become the first woman to hold the world's most powerful job. I really want Trump to win, The United States goes to the polls, and then we have the story of President William Ruto telling the judges, stick to your lane, and then the back page again is just the story of the US, the elections, how they're going to play out. And then the fifth page is how stalled bill almost scattered Gashagua's ouster. Proposed law to guide impeachment process was passed on to the National Assembly in 2019. Then the back page, more university staff set tough conditions for its reopening. The strike is still on, by the way. And then primary school head teachers want promotion for managing JSS. So they want to be promoted so that they can be at the same level as secondary school principals because they are managing junior secondary. Then the Standard Justice on trial. 12 years of Supreme Court has been a mixed bag for different people. While some hail the apex court as the epitome of jurisprudence, others feel it has not met expectation. President William Ruto, too, has his word for the judges, whose word is final on matters litigation. It was good to see Maraga there also with the judges in service of the country, and also seeing Judge Willie Mutunga. Then we have in service of country, Ruto plots for 2027. President William Ruto has found a new narrative that sends the message of service to Kenya, not the villages and regions we come from. This, he hopes, will carry his message that equity in governance is a pillar of his administration. Then there's a story of one student who died while sitting KCSE class. Sad. Then we got the bad girl of politics, Millie Mabonwa Odhiambo. She's basically giving her story. This is one lady who's gone through all kinds of things, you know. She's been told so many things have been done to her at Parliament. All kinds of things have been said to her, but this girl holds so strong, and I'm so proud of her. Page 5, in the service for Kenya, not our villages. MPs broker to broker 13.8 billion pay stalemate for public varsity and lecturers. Then page 7, courts should keep off politics. State programs should keep off politics and state programs, Ruto says, as he was speaking to the Supreme Court. Then the back page of the Standard, it's Liverpool be ready as old boy Alonso comes calling. Let's hope he's going to bring good tidings to Liverpool. So later on, we're going to go for a short break, and then later on we'll be having a conversation, among other things, the elections that are happening in the United States, how they are going to affect us and all that. And at the same time, basically look at the Supreme Court 12 years down the line. Are we better off with or without it?